Thank you.
Stay programme.
One up, one down. We're going to play.
It's the unmistakable sound of the FA Cup. The competition returns with the first round weekend, made for the underdogs to leave their mark on this historic competition. Welcome to the Emirates FA Cup preview show. Coming up, 7th tier Coalville Town are eyeing an upset at Charlton.
I'm not a manager which goes to make up numbers and tickle bellies, so we'll give it everything that we've got.
We relive a cup fairy tale made in Portsmouth.
Massive game, probably biggest game of my career up to that point, and we were going there to have a right go.
There's a Hollywood buzz around Wrexham. We get the story behind the National League A-listers.
It didn't start off as it must be Wrexham. Wrexham found Rob and Ryan rather than the other way around.
And we look back at some of the stories from qualifying, including the Sunderland legend back in the Northeast.
I asked them for a show of hands who supported Sunderland, who supported Newcastle, and unfortunately I said to Newcastle, lads, you won't play for me.
Coalville in northwest Leicestershire was a proud mining town for more than 150 years before the demise of the industry in the 1980s.
I worked at Whitwick. I was one of the last 6 people to got set on at Whitwick in 1982, and I worked in Leicestershire until they all closed in 1991. Before that, my dad worked for 40 years at Whitwick Colliery. Vibrant town back in the day. As a child, I can remember going up to the pit with my dad, who used to go and fetch his wages when he was on the afternoon shift, and I met a lot of his colleagues. Everybody knew each other, kind of thing. There was a real good community spirit. You know, they'd do anything for each other, like.
With the mining industry a fading memory, it's football that brings the community together.
When I first started going up, there'd be maybe 50, 60 people watching them, especially on a cold winter's night, and it's grew over the years steadily to start with, but in recent years it's really took off, and a lot of the younger generation are coming up now to watch it.
It's very much a community club. It's a working class area, and good people within it. My dad, my granddad, my uncles did years in the coal mines. You know, that was hard work, and you know, I'm managing that way, that players have to put their hard yards in, the mileage in, and you get your rewards. It's good that we're putting something in the community and the community's giving us back. You know, it's a two-way street. You know, a successful football club puts money into the local area. So yeah, everyone's a winner, really.
Manager Adam Stevens played in Coalville's last Round 1 appearance in 2004.
We lost 1-0. It was a Roger Johnson header, about 15 minutes to go. I'm a local boy, you know, I live in Hugglescote, you know, Coalville. And yeah, when I got the opportunity to come back, it was a no-brainer.
Ex-Accrington Stanley striker Billy Key also has cup pedigree.
It must be, it is! Billy Key!
I've scored a couple in my time, but that's the one that sticks out for me, the last one I scored against Ipswich. It was a great day for Accrington. We won 1-0 and obviously got through to the 3rd round, I think it was. Well, I retired from full-time football in the January, and I think a week later they come round and said, would you mind just coming, no pressure, and trying to play for us? And I come down and I've been here ever since.
We've got some good footballers. We got players which can hurt teams.
They've also brought people in like Ego, Elliot Putman, and obviously Ashley Chambers, who played with me down Leicester. And the experience is massive, and hopefully throughout the season it can show through.
When we drew Notts County in the last round, it was as good a tie as you could draw, and we was just looking forward to the day there, and to actually go there and win was a bonus, and obviously we're into the 1st round again. I think everybody wanted to draw a league team, and I went up the clubhouse to watch the draw, and everybody were absolutely delighted to draw Charlton.
11.
That's Charlton Athletic. Reached round 3 last season.
61.
And they get Coalville Town.
When we was watching the draw in the clubhouse, we saw that Charlton got called out, and it was just like 61, 61, and it's got called out, and it was buzzing. So yeah, it couldn't have been a better draw.
Everywhere we go,
I originally actually started playing football at Charlton myself when I was about 8 or 9, and then got released from there. Ever since, it must have been 5, I had a season ticket there. Me, my dad, my granddad and my brother, we went to sort of every single game. My dad and my granddad still go, so no, still got that big connection there.
You know, we're under no illusions, you know, we're playing against a side 4 leagues above us, but we're there to put on a show, give it a best shot, and we'll see where that takes us.
Coalville play really good football. We're just hoping they can go and make a good account of themselves. It'd be lovely to get a goal. I mean, if we could get a result of any kind, that would be a bonus.
I don't think I can settle nerves on the day, but I just, like I say all the time, just enjoy it and try and enjoy every moment you have in football, because one day it will come to a stop, but moments like these don't come around very often. Ever since the draw's been, it's been sort of 2-3 weeks when I've just been itching to get out there.
I'm not a manager which goes to make up numbers and tickle bellies, so we'll give it everything that we've got, and I've got every confidence in the boys that they'll do themselves justice.
"732 clubs entered the Emirates FA Cup, which began in August with a landmark encounter in Sheffield.
It's the world's oldest football ground. It holds quite a historical place in football.
We started 1860 over in America, the one and only Abraham Lincoln. He's just getting sworn in.
Up there, Alan, come on!
It's always great to be involved in the FA Cup. Coming up against a side like Bury, he's absolutely massive. You want to be involved with games like this.
One thing Bury AFC is, it's taking it back to the fans and giving the control to the fans for the football club. Cheers, Ian, thank you.
The old club ended after a fantastic season and won promotion from League Division 2, and then the heavens fell in, the club collapsed, and then a few of us got together and decided to make sure that football was seen in Bury again. First FA Cup game for Bury AFC, and the oldest ground in the country. It's quite an emotional moment for many of us.
Bury FC came closest to breaking the deadlock just before half-time, but a competitive game ended goalless.
Thanks for your support.
The replay was another tight affair, but the decisive moment in the tie went Bury's way, right at the death.
Every single one of you have made history tonight. Club's first ever game at home in the FA Cup. Really proud of you. Hard fought, but as a group of players tonight, that's what it's about.
Next to Walton and Hersham, a club bought by 7 university students back in 2019.
It's a pretty crazy experience being part of the group of the youngest football club owners in the world.
It was originally my idea. The club wasn't in the best of shape. It needed new energy, new life. I added all the boys to the group chat.
We didn't believe it at first. We thought it was a joke. But we realised very soon that he was serious. We're here today, FA Cup against Littlehampton Town in the preliminary round. George, how are you feeling about this one?
Our parents were very sceptical looking at it, because the previous owners had put a lot of money into the club. There wasn't much return.
We found out who was best at what, and then we kind of stuck to those roles.
It's stressful, but that balances out by, the enjoyment factor of doing it with basically your mates.
John Gilbert with a shot. Oh, that's a goal! Unbelievable strike from John Gilbert.
Today, I think we showed what we were about, really. We played it off the park, created some brilliant opportunities.
It's the Swans are through, 3-2. Next round of the Cup, here we come.
The FA Cup's always so special at this level, and to get another win and be back into the first qualifying round it's a great feeling.
In September, former Sunderland striker Kevin Phillips was on familiar territory as he continued his first job in management at South Shields.
I've been here since January now, so it's been a massive learning curve for me, my first managerial job. A big surprise for a lot of people that I took it at this level, but as you can see, the infrastructure here, the ambition of the football club is massive, and I want to be a part of that.
Well, he's got something to prove here. I'm going to give him all the support that he needs as best I can. And the idea is, let's hope we can hang on to him for a few seasons. Let's hope he's very successful, and we benefit as a result of that.
Good. In that space.
I said to him the very first day that I come in, I asked him for a show of hands who supported Sunderland, who supported Newcastle, and unfortunately I said to Newcastle, lads, you won't play for me. When I had to pack my bags and leave my children behind and come up here on my own, you know, it's not as though I'm coming to somewhere I don't know. You know, I felt at home straight away, and it was down to work.
Phillips continued his great start in the dugout with his side 3-2 winners over Workington to move closer to the competition proper.
It would be great to get to the first round, of course. Anything televised would be magnificent for the club. We keep going and keep going. And in the end, in life, in anything, you keep going, you get your rewards.
In the second qualifying round, Welling and Fisher paid tribute to Queen Elizabeth II ahead of their time.
We've got to get on with football. There's a king in now. It's been difficult, but you know, probably in football, it's the freedom the players get of comes off your mind.
Thursday night, we had to cancel training due to what happened, which is bad news for everyone in the country. Last night, we trained again, and hopefully we can come on top today.
Hopefully we get the right result and pay respects for Her Majesty over the weekend again.
Fisher, the lowest ranked club at this stage, were a match for their hosts and almost claimed a memorable late win. But the tie ended goalless. And in the replay, the National League South club showed their quality to progress to the next round. At Hyde, there was a meeting of two clubs eyeing another day in the first round.
In '83 we played Burnley, and then we played Darlington when Darlington were a Football League club. Badislavin scoring a couple of goals against us to knock us out. And then in the first round proper again we played MK Dons in 2017 on the BBC.
When we got through to the first round to play Walsall, that was the very first time as a fan-owned club that we got that far. And unfortunately we lost by 1-0, but it was a memorable night. It was the sort of thing as a fan-owned club that we were aiming for.
For Hyde or for Darlington, it's a great event. It's a chance to progress and play bigger teams, and also financially it's a really welcome contribution.
Jack Redshaw scored the only goal to take Hyde potentially 90 minutes away from the competition proper.
I thought they equalled on all parts of the pitch today, and absolutely delighted for them.
And we'll have more qualifying action later in the show. 32 non-league clubs are in first-round action this weekend. Here's some of the standout ties. Bracknell Town have reached this stage for the second time. Their reward, a tie with former winners Ipswich. Manchester City fans will remember former midfielder Kevin Horlock. He'll be in the dugout for Needham Market on Saturday as they face Burton Albion. The lowest-ranked club in the competition are 7th tier Alvechurch. Their reward for reaching this stage for the first time in 49 years is a trip to League One Cheltenham. Chippenham Town have equalled their best ever cup run by reaching this stage. They face League One Lincoln City. And in the week that club legend Ronnie Radford passed away, Hereford face Portsmouth. Still to come, welcome to Wrexham. We meet the faces behind the TV show, going down a storm stateside.
Since Rob and Ryan have taken over at the stadium, then yeah, it's getting a little bit bonkers now.
And another campaign means our FA Cup quiz.
Not very good at quizzes, but go on.
For 150 years, the FA Cup has delivered timeless moments. With every piece of magic, there's a name etched in folklore. From overnight sensations to legends of the game, this is the story of those who've left their mark on this famous competition.
I'm Sean Raggett. This is my page in FA Cup history.
Lincoln City are ahead! Sean Raggett with the header!
Back in 2017, when I was at Lincoln, we got into the 5th round of the FA Cup, you know, deep round for a non-league team to get to. Away at Burnley, a Premier League side, nobody gave us a chance. A massive game, probably biggest game of my career up to that point. And we were going there to have a right go. Yeah, I've watched this a few times. Yeah, I remember walking out here. The boys weren't nervous at all, I don't think. We'd already beaten Ipswich, beaten Brighton, and we weren't coming here to sort of play the occasion. We were coming here to win. We had full belief we were going to win this game. It was electric, it was a big stadium, fans were brilliant, our away support was absolutely fantastic that day as well. You could really hear them, and it just really set the mood for the day. We'd done a lot of research on how Burnley play and what we can do, and we knew if we were solid defensively, we just needed that one chance in the game.
But Nathan Arnold with the ball in, and the first chance of the match, Jack Muldoon.
At the time, I remember thinking, is that our one chance? The game got a bit fussy, you know. There was plenty. Reedy and Joe Barton going at it. They was at it all game as well. Look at him laughing there.
Danny Cowley's team have performed superbly. All to play for at the break at Turf Moor. It's Burnley 0, Lincoln City 0.
I can't really remember what the manager said at half-time. We broke up the game into sort of 10-minute spells, and we thought if we can get through each 10-minute spell, you're getting closer and closer to the end and towards a good result. The longer the game sort of went on, the more frustrated they'd get, the more frustrated the crowd would get, and you know that would only work to our advantage. And you can see here, like, some of their players are gone, their heads are gone. We knew at this point that we've got a chance here, we've got them. The goal was a mad moment. We had some really good set-piece routines. We saw that as a big opportunity in the game for us. I don't know if that is our corner. It might have been a goal kick, to be honest, but luckily we got given the corner. It was a great ball in, and my centre-half partner, Luke Waterfall, headed it back across, and I was just in the right spot.
Oh, had it gone over the line? Yes, it has! Lincoln City are ahead! Almost at the end of the match. Sean Raggett with the header. It had just crossed the line.
Yeah, clearly. See, Danny doesn't really celebrate. It's quite funny. He's already thinking, get another defender on the pitch. At this point, I'm just thinking, we just need to hold on now, see this out. So I think it was the 89th minute. Fans looking so nervous here.
We're on the verge of FA Cup history here now.
That's a good picture, that. I remember that as well. When the whistle went, all you could hear was our fans screaming. They pulled us through that day.
Would you believe it? Lincoln City from the National League are through to the last stage of the FA Cup.
I think it was the first time a non-league side had reached the quarter-finals in 103 years, something like that. Unfortunately, Arsenal in the next round just had too much quality, but it's definitely a massive achievement looking back. It's definitely the maddest feeling I've had, scoring a goal for sure. Just the occasion, nobody gave us a chance, and you know, we sort of proved that it was possible. And that's my page in FA Cup history.
Hello everyone, from the edge of Northumbria. It's a long, long way from Wrexham in North Wales, but this is where their FA Cup journey for the season begins. Delight in the away end, the journey worthwhile. Live Spartans have equalised. It's all back to the racecourse on Tuesday for a replay.
Everybody gets brought up on the phrase, you know, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. Take Wrexham in North Wales, and then all of a sudden you've projected it onto the world stage, and now we've got a fan base that's global.
2 years ago, life at non-league Wrexham changed forever when Hollywood stars Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bought the club.
I think it started with, how can we make a big difference to a community? And they wanted the investment they were bringing into the club to make a positive difference, not just to fill a financial hole that had been left previously.
Wrexham was probably not going in the right direction, certainly from the football club, but even the local people, you know, was getting a bit run down, and the life it's brought to the town. And as a local lad, I can't thank Rob and Ryan enough for that.
I think the first time they came over, I think it was a really important weekend for the lads to meet them, really. They've been great, very honest, straightforward.
Every time they come, they throw themselves in and just come and treat you as normal human beings, and that's all the lads can ask for, really, and they're brilliant every time they come over.
It didn't start off as it must be Wrexham. Wrexham found Rob and Ryan rather than the other way around.
The American takeover has been accompanied by a documentary series that's brought global attention for those involved with the club.
Excellent.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot. From the football club point of view and the local economy point of view, it's booming.
Thanks for that. Now it's moving because you talk.
I sort of maybe played it down in my mind that it's not going to be such a big deal. Now I'm aware of how big it is in America. Since Rob and Ryan have taken over at the stadium, then yeah, it's getting a little bit bonkers now.
Since the documentary aired, and obviously the club's been exposed to that worldwide audience, retail sales have gone through the roof. We went through 1 million social media followers, which has probably put 250,000 followers on since the documentary started.
The retail team have done a fantastic job to try and keep up, those daily sales that are coming in, particularly on a Thursday morning after the Wednesday episode in the States, which was aired. So it's fantastic in terms of the numbers that that's producing.
We needed that boost in the arm to get us going, and Rob and Ryan have well and truly awoken a giant. And we've got a brilliant manager, we've got brilliant players, brilliant owners, an absolutely wonderful fan base that have been there all the way through it, who deserve everything that they get.
For an FA Cup fourth round qualifying tie to be shown live in the US, I suspect it's a first.
Welcome to Wrexham, everyone, for Wrexham against Blythe Spartans, take 2.
The FA Cup is special. We want to give a good account of ourselves and get through the next round.
Here's Mullin going all the way, and it's flicked in, and what a lovely finish that is. Aidan, that's a good delivery, and it's a second Wrexham goal. And Davies is in, and Wrexham are on their way.
Despite a Blythe fight back, Wrexham made it to round 1.
Pleased to get through. It was a tougher game than it should have been, but we got there in the end, and tonight was all about qualifying for the next round.
Where Wrexham will host National League Oldham Athletic.
Obviously, Rob and Ryan appreciate that cup football does have a special place in the fabric of football in Britain. Let's hope after this round we're not saying we're going to concentrate on the league, because our ambition is to be successful and to win.
Time now for our first FA Cup quiz of the season. Feeling confident?
Yeah. Not very good at quizzes, but go on.
OK, question 1. This weekend, Sean Raggett's Portsmouth will play Hereford, famous for one of the great cup upsets in 1972. But which top-flight club did they beat?
I've got a feeling, but I could be miles wrong here.
Southampton. Arsenal. No. Notts Forest.
I've had a blank.
Was it Newcastle?
Oh, Newcastle.
Yeah, it was Newcastle, wasn't it? Yeah.
Correct. Hereford shocked Newcastle United back in 1972. Question 2. Liverpool are the holders, but who scored the winning penalty in their shootout victory over Chelsea in May's final?
Might have to be a little bit of a guess.
Trent.
Mo Salah.
Robertson.
Van Dijk.
Milner.
I ain't got a clue, mate.
Tsimikas, was that it? Was it him?
Correct. It was Greek left-back Kostas Tsimikas' penalty that saw Liverpool over the line in a tense shootout.
I'd have never ever seen.
Question 3. Wrexham are hoping to make it to the second round for the first time in 4 years. Can you name their 2 Hollywood owners?
Ryan Reynolds and...
Ryan Reynolds and...
The other one's the other one's
Rob McElhenney.
Rob McElhenney.
Yeah, that's the one.
Seen their show on Disney Plus. It's a good show.
We'll give you that. Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds are the Hollywood duo in charge at Wrexham. Question 4. Coalville are one of 7 seventh-tier sides left in the competition. But which League One club are the highest ranked?
Highest rank. Who's top of the league? Ipswich.
Plymouth, surely, no?
Oh, Plymouth.
Yeah, we played Plymouth. Drew to all.
That's right, Sean. League One leaders Plymouth are the highest ranked side at this stage of the competition. And finally, South Shields manager Kevin Phillips scored 20 FA Cup goals, 14 for Sunderland. Can you name another club he scored for in the Cup?
You got Leicester for that?
Derby.
Southampton, is he there?
Southampton.
Blues, Birmingham.
Well done. The other clubs Phillips scored for in the FA Cup were Southampton, West Brom, Blackpool and Birmingham. It's a close run thing, but this week's winner with a full house is Sean Raggett.
5 out of 5. Lovely.
We'll leave you with one of the FA Cup's truly iconic moments, a legendary goal by Ronnie Radford, who passed away this week, aged 79.
Oh, what a goal! What a goal! Radford the scorer! What a tremendous shot by Radford.